If you knew precisely when the world was going to end, not just a general year, not just a general month, not even a week, but down to the very minute, the question on your mind should be, how would you spend your last night on Earth? Which was written and directed by Marcus Efron, no relation to Zach, at least I assume. Check out his IMDb page for the full list of his work. And this stars Levin Raman, who was in Percy Jackson 2. Who remembers that there was a sequel to Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Queef? I think that was the title. Nevertheless, she plays Holly because Holly don't give a damn, as Republica once said. And she has her significant other, Ryan, played by Jake McLaughlin, who is no relation to Sarah McLaughlin, building a mystery, and there's no mystery in Last Night on Earth. If you can't figure out from the title, I mean, come on. It's about somebody's last night on Earth. This takes place in Tennessee, somewhere in the mountainous campus, I don't know, forestry region. I don't really know much about Tennessee, except wrestling was really, really popular there at some point. Memphis, Tennessee, with Andy Kaufman and all that. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So sorry to all the Tennesseans that happen to be watching this with internet, all three of you. I kid, of course. Let's get on with this. I'm trying to have some fun with this particular review because, to be perfectly honest, there isn't a whole lot to this. We have Holly and Ryan. They are a couple. They are living, in a little camper trailer with a lot of propane, a lot of alcohol, a lot of goddamn alcohol. And they reflect on their lives, and then we see flashbacks of how this world-ending event came to be. Basically, a meteor that is 3 times the size of what killed the dinosaurs is heading to Earth. And we hear that the cities are all fucked, and that people are basically trying to go into the forest, into the, basically just into nature and commune with nature. Also, Dee Wallace happens to be in this for some reason. She leads a colony of very religious people that live in fifth wheel trailers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. And yeah, there's a religious connotation that's about as subtle as several bricks to your skull here, 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 and here. And then another couple arrives and things eventually occur, kind of, but also not really. Look, I know it sounds like I'm being down on this movie, and the concept, as bare bones as it is, it's really bare bones. There's no goddamn meat, flesh, or really any material left on this particular story. It's not awful as far as the acting goes, but as far as a concept, this is very bare bones and doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't really accomplish anything. And the character motivations are also really goddamn stupid. And then when it finally tries to kick things into gear in the third act, I'm like, okay, really? That's it? Like, what is the point of this? You're all gonna fucking die. Like this, there's no way to prevent this. There's no giant laser. There's no goddamn, team like in Armageddon. There's no bunker like in Deep Impact. None of this shit is going, to be able to save you. But yeah, let's just have stupid character motivations. We get flashbacks of how all this stuff happened and how Holly and Ryan have been able to basically develop their, form their relationship and reinforce their relationship. And look, again, the acting is okay, but everything else is just bland and boring, and quite frankly, ended up rendering this whole movie pretty goddamn pointless. It's on Tubi if you want to check it out. Nevertheless, I'm going to get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Shane West is in this as Gene. Gene, along with his girlfriend or squeeze or partner in crime, Bonnie to his Clyde, Sid to his Nancy, Nancy to his Sid, screwed that up. Gabriella or Gabby, they show up sometime later, and they introduce themselves, and it's very obvious right from the offset that they are off-putting and that they are criminals. Also, there was a family in the very beginning of this movie that took a compound and the Blackburns, and they ended up ending their lives. That is never the answer. But then again, when the world's going to end, I guess if you want to go out under your own power, okay. Here's a question: what if the meteor broke up and passed over and didn't kill every bit of life on Earth? Boy, you'd feel really goddamn stupid if you weren't dead. Nevertheless, basically they find the dog, Holly and Ryan find this dog. This dog factors into the finish a little bit later with Gene and Gabby, where the dog ends up basically saving them. The 7 months earlier flashback just basically gives us a little bit of a little insight. There's this guy, Brad, that works in aerospace defense, and a lot of good that fucking did with our NASA stuff. Can't even stop a world-ending meteor. Good job, fuck nuggets. And then also we see that Holly tried to take her own life, due in part to stress, the world ending, or family stuff. There's a thing about a necklace, basically, that was something that she wore and actually took off when she tried to take her own life in the bathtub. That's never the answer, but that's just what happened. And then, yeah, the dog basically bites Gene and damages him a little bit, but then ends up getting stabbed. Poor dog. I mean, you don't have to worry about the dog getting, knifed on camera, because the editing is really not all that great, so you don't really know what the fuck is going on, except you hear a dog yelp. And then they get in a firefight, so to speak, with Gene and Gabby. Well, Holly gets taken by them. Ryan goes to talk to Dee Wallace's Carla and everybody, and basically the whole thing, pray with us, pray with us. Religion isn't going to fucking save you at this point. There's no salvation. The world is ending. Anyway, there's no surprise that Gene and Gabby are criminals. Big fucking shock there. And then, I'm sorry. Once the dog gets killed, once they get into this old guy's truck, they try to race away, and Gene is shoots the old guy pretty quickly. Somehow ends up handcuffing Ryan because he's totally taken out, and then he gets a gun from Carla and goes to rescue them. There's also 2 grandkids that don't really fit. This movie tries to stay busy despite going nowhere, and yeah. Holly pushes God damn it, pushes Gabby into the fire. It'd be funny if Dee Wallace took a bump like that at her age, but pushes Gabby into the goddamn fire. That doesn't end up affecting her all that much. She has a crossbow, but then she ends up getting killed, and then Shane West ends up getting gut shot with an arrow, but somehow is still alive, ends up knifing Ryan. So he's basically bleeding out on this goddamn log. It's a log, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood. He's all gut shot. Gene goes to that compound that he was kicked out of because they were all criminals. Or him and Gabby were criminals. And then Holly's just like, nope, I'm going to let you suffer. And then I'm going to go back and be my boyfriend. She's running. There's a time clock there as opposed to a time calendar that is ticking down. It's 1 minute, she gets with Ryan, and then boom, and then stuff starts falling, and then a world-consuming meteor hits. And it takes out Tennessee. Hooray! Nothing against Tennessee. It's just at least something happened. And the great thing about it is it a good ending? Is it a bad ending? It's an ending. That's enough. Look, I said as much positive stuff as I could about this. I didn't hate this. I was just bored. And sometimes it's the biggest indictment of it. It doesn't really raise anything. It doesn't raise any ideas. It's not really entertaining. It gets an F. I'm sorry. It's not good. So, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rethlin. I'll see you soon.